Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and thanks for tuning into another episode of the Dumpster Diaries. As always, I am your host, Justin Allen, and I am here with
Moses Wartooth.
And like we've promised for this year, we're starting off with some more entertaining stuff at the beginning of our shows, man. So you want to tell them about this, or you want to jump right into it?
Yeah, we'll do a little quick synopsis of what's going down. So basically, if anyone has ever accidentally mailed something, this one's for you.
Yeah.
So if you've ever accidentally mailed a fucking animal, this one's for you too. So
yeah, it's a pretty wild story. It's got a good ending to it, though.
Sure,
you know?
it's wholesome.
So, it's wholesome, yeah. I think that's pretty good.
This is a wild story. A family from Utah thrilled this morning after their missing cat is found in Riverside.
This is unbelievable. It's how the cat ended up in Riverside that is making headlines. So the family says on April 10th, their beloved cat, Galena, that's the name, right, disappeared. They searched everywhere looking for her and thought she'd run away. But 7 days later,
they got a call from a veterinarian in Riverside, 650 miles away, saying their cat's microchip had been scanned at their facility. So what happened?
the cat had jumped into one of their Amazon return packages, guys.
Wild.
And then was mailed to a return center in California. The cat was trapped in a box for 6 days.
Oh.
When an Amazon worker opened the return and found the cat.
Thankfully, she took her into the vet and they found the owner. Unbelievably, aside from slight dehydration,
Wow.
the cat is perfectly fine and back with its family this morning. But I just have questions. How do you not notice when you're taking that box to return it to
Right.
the UPS store or whatever, and you don't know, like, doesn't the cat meow
Right.
or purr or scratch or something?
There are so many
or like
things
even
that
feel
you think-
uneven weight in the
Yeah.
box?
And there were multiple people involved. Think about it. You're at home packaging your box. You go to Amazon or you go to whatever mailing facility. There's someone there who takes the package.
That's a whole lot of people just not giving a fuck.
Yeah, I was
That's
gonna
what
say
that
the
is.
people once it leaves the owner's hands, the people at the post office do not give a shit.
Yeah,
They're like,
no,
whatever's in here, I'm assuming is just supposed to go. And plus they're not gonna open the damn box. Like,
Yeah, it's cool that they got their cat back, though. I like that, man. But
so I guess they drove
Yeah, that's
the
what it looked
650 miles and picked up the cat.
God damn.
Man, if that was my cat, I'd be like,
You can keep
just
it.
turn her outside, dude. Like, let her go. I don't care.
She obviously wanted to leave anyway,
Yeah.
you know?
Fucking
is a cool
convict
story, man.
cat.
I bet that cat was just like, what the fuck is happening? Because
I'm
it's in
sure.
that box for 6 days, dude. Like,
Yeah, and they said that it was thirsty. I'm sure it was fucking hungry too.
yeah, you know, like my thing, I mean, I don't know shit about cats, but like, you know, humans supposedly can only live like a few days, like what, 3 days? Like 3 days without water.
3 days without water is like
Yeah.
the main water is the main fucking thing.
Yeah. But 6 days, damn, that is one persistent cat wanting to live, man.
Plus, like, I mean, I guess obviously the box was not fucking sealed totally, otherwise it would have just smothered in there. But
Suffocated.
yeah,
I don't know, man. That's a cool cat, dude. Like, you just want to take a trip, man. Or maybe he just want to get the fuck out of that house.
maybe so.
You know, he's like, I'm tired of y'all's shit.
Maybe he was in an oppressive environment. His owners were holding him down.
He's like, I'm a peacock. You gotta let me fly. Like, just get in this box and fucking ship yourself to California or whatever. Holy shit, man. I don't know, dude. That's cats are cool, man. They're kind of like dicks, but they're kind of cool too, man. So, but it's
Yeah,
always cool when a
Cat,
family.
I don't know. They're weird. I'm not a cat person. I'm okay with cats.
Yeah,
like
neither am I.
other people in my family have cats and stuff. But the thing that really annoys me is they don't listen to shit. Like
No.
if it's a dog, you're like, come on, get out of
Sit,
here.
stay,
Yeah.
roll over.
A fucking cat, it'll just sit there and look at you.
You just be like, fuck.
Yeah,
you.
like, what do you fucking want me to do? Like, no.
Yeah. I actually had like a teacher in college explain, it was in a Western civilization class that I took, explain why the behavior between cats and dogs is so different, like when interacting with humans. It's because dogs were domesticated thousands of years before cats. And then like cats came later, and then he kind of had like a joke where he roped it in. He was like, the Egyptians kind of fucked it up because now the cats just believe they're gods and that humans are supposed to serve, or cats supposed to serve, or humans supposed to serve cats,
Yeah.
you know? But yeah, it was kind of cool. Like he talked about like the first Homo sapiens, like kind of, you know, hunters and gatherers and stuff. And, you know, they found that when wolves were around, other predators were gone.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
So they had a use.
So then they would like intentionally start feeding the wolves. And the wolves were like, oh, if we follow these people, we get fed. and we ain't gonna
And
hunt.
they keep the other shit away.
Yeah, and then eventually, like, it just kind of became like, hey, dude,
A
you're
mutual
cool.
friendship.
Yeah, so it's kind of cool. Like, I don't know.
And like nowadays, most domesticated dogs, they can't really like if they get lost in the fucking woods, they're just gonna die.
They're gonna die.
A cat will take care. Like a cat can hunt. A cat still has those predatory instincts. It's gonna survive most. Like,
You ever read like those statistics about cats like being horrible for the environment?
no.
Like wild, like feral cats.
Oh,
and stuff?
because they eat all the
they
like
eat
birds
everything,
and
yeah.
like insects and all other
So it
shit.
just fucks
and
up the whole
ecosystem.
yeah, dude. Because you got like this basically. Imagine being a bird. Like that's like a tiger, dude. To
Yeah,
you know
yeah.
what I mean? And it's just like just roaming at night, can see really well in the dark. It's just like what the fuck.
Hell, my grandma has a cat, and that thing, like, she feeds the shit out of it, and it still kills birds. It brought a fucking snake into her like mudroom a couple days ago.
I brought a gift.
Yeah,
To you,
and
my
they'll
human.
do that shit because my grandma's always had fucking cats, so like indoor, outdoor. So they would like she would come in sometimes, and there would be like a dead mouse on her pillow because cats like leave.
God, dude.
Cats will kill like prey and then bring
Yeah.
it to their owner as like a sign of like
is
saying
my-
thanks
my
type shit.
tribute.
Yeah, it's either that or maybe they're trying to be like sharing the kill. I don't know.
Yeah.
One of the two.
I don't
But-
know, man. Like, but yeah, everyone I've known that's had cats, like they're just like dicks, and they kind of fuck your shit up too. Man.
They do fucking shit.
They will like claw furniture.
They got no respect.
They got no respect. Can't get no respect.
They got no respect, man.
You know, like a dog, like if they, if they have an accident or if they,
A dog will look guilty. They
They
know
will.
they know they fucked up.
Yeah.
A cat's like, fuck, I'll do it again. Like,
because like if my German because I have a German Shepherd or whatever, and if she does something like say, she's not bad by any means. She's actually really well behaved, but you know if she like say dug something out of the trash or
Yeah.
something like that. I'll just come in and ask her, like, did you do this? And she just, like, puts her head down.
yeah,
and
gets,
just,
gets, gets all
like,
guilty. Like, yeah, like, I know.
I don't want to lie to him, man.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, dogs are cool. Far superior than cats, man.
100% agree.
Yeah, and I love German Shepherds too, man. In my opinion, it's like the best breed of dog there is. Oh man, so what's the next story we want to talk
So
about?
it kind of, speaking of cats in the mail, our next story has to deal with the mail too, but it's on a totally reverse level of what we're talking about here.
Apparently, being a mailman these days is a little dangerous,
Dude,
folks.
yeah, them mailman, teacher, they all got to carry guns on them now. Like,
isn't that wild?
that shit's crazy.
Isn't that wild?
Neither snow nor rain keeps our mail carriers from doing their job.
Yeah, but now they face a threat far more dangerous than the weather that puts their lives and your mail at risk. Since last year, the 13 Investigates team has been exposing skyrocketing mail theft and a severe lack of resources the Postal Service has yet to fight.
Yes, and our Kevin Ozebek is live in studio with us tonight with what he has uncovered, Kevin.
Well, Eric and Charlie, as the branches of the U.S. Postal Service continue to deny our request for an interview, we put in dozens, and I do mean dozens of federal records requests. It's how we learned that last year alone, more than 600 mail carriers were robbed all across the country. I mean, just incredible video here. Now, it is the key that they carry that makes them a target, and that puts the security of your mail in jeopardy.
Mail carriers shoved down to the ground, brutally pushed and punched, and even
Jeez.
threatened with assault rifles.
That's like some shit out of the town.
Watch as this
Yeah.
carrier
Yeah.
here in Houston is viciously attacked. Delivering mail in America is now a dangerous job, according to veteran carrier Ulysses Wells.
Did you even know you were being watched?
No. Because my focus is, again, on getting the mail together, trying to get off work, trying to hurry, things of that nature.
One evening last summer, while he was putting mail in a box, Ulysses says a masked man approached him.
He's like, give me the key.
Two accomplices then appeared.
What was rushing through your head?
I want to make it home. I want to live. I don't want to be shot. I don't want to be stabbed.
For his safety, Ulysses handed the robbers what's called an arrow key. It's a key prized by thieves because they open all the cluster mailboxes on a carrier's route. And stolen USPS keys
This that universal go to anything and everything.
are often then sold on the dark web.
Do you have members who are now scared to actually deliver the mail?
Sure, and we have some members that haven't come back after they've been robbed.
Sean,
Why the hell would you?
of the National
When he said hadn't come back, I was like, wait, what?
They took the keys and left.
With a AK-47 pointed at the carrier.
It's a terrifying detail. And data obtained by 13 Investigate shows last year alone in our state, 87 mail carriers were robbed or assaulted.
We have to take away what these criminals are looking for.
The U.S. Postal Inspection Service, which is tasked with protecting our mail carriers, turned down our interview request. But the agency sent us this USPS press release touting arrests for attacks on mail carriers are up 73%, and that 28,000 electronic locking mechanisms, or digital arrow keys, have replaced physical arrow keys. So how many of these new digital arrow keys are here in Texas, making our carriers safer? The inspection service rejected our federal record request on that, citing that information creates a security risk.
In Texas. How many of these digital keys?
No way.
Holy shit, dude. They're just trying to dodge that entirely, dude.
It said it was up. Their prosecutions were up 73%. It's because they're getting robbed more, so the numbers are like...
Yeah, dude. Holy shit, man. It's got to be a dangerous time to be a damn mail carrier at this point, dude. Fuck that.
I mean, like, at least where I'm from, like, there's no... My mail carrier, it's just straight driving to the mailbox. There's no cluster. Like, I don't live in any subdivision. There's no clusters of mailboxes, which I think that's mainly what those guys are going after, like apartment complex type stuff, or anywhere where they have like those group mailboxes.
Because like the subdivision I live in, we have one of those cluster boxes in the street or whatever. So, but my thing is like I get so much junk mail. I'm like, do you really want, like coupons?
Yeah, like that poor man got a gun held to his head over some fucking AOL disc. Like, remember those fucking free what was those America Online?
Internet? Yeah. You get 100 hours worth of internet for free.
Yeah.
Like with this
if you refer your friend, you get an extra 50 hours.
Yeah, dude. So I don't know, man. Here's the thing: is like, do you think? I think they should be allowed to carry guns.
Yeah.
But do you think they are allowed to?
Probably not.
Like if it's like registered, they got a license, whatever. Like, do you think that, like, the United States Postal Service will allow them to actually carry a gun?
I would be surprised.
Yeah, I wonder if that's going to change.
I mean, if enough people if they get to where they can't find enough people to do the job, they're going to have to obviously change some shit because
I would just pack one anyway, dude.
I would too, man. I'm not getting, or like that guy, he was like, I handed him the key. Like, I would have done the same shit. I ain't getting robbed over that shit.
You
like,
got a gun
I ain't
to your
getting
face.
hurt. Yeah,
like,
dude.
Yo, dude, if you really want this...
you can take the mail, dude. I don't care. Like,
if you really want this guy's electric bill, have fun.
Yeah.
Dude, like, I'm out of here. I'm not dealing with this,
Yeah, like, I don't really see how that would be a very profitable business, like to rob. Like, man. I mean, I get that you get packages and shit, and then how long, like, once you steal that key, how long does it take them, or do they change out the locks and shit? I guess they would have to, otherwise they would just have people going over there every day and opening all the shit up.
Dude, I don't know. Well, maybe hitting it at certain times is probably more profitable. Like, they hit it around the holidays and stuff,
yeah, like Christmas. Mm-hmm. That would make sense.
Or, like, out of those 600 incidences, like, how many do you think were inside jobs?
I don't know.
Like, a postal carrier knows, like, hey, like, I'm delivering to these businesses.
Yeah,
this
like,
is what this business is
at 1:15, show up and rob me.
Yeah. So I would imagine some of them probably got to be.
I would think so.
Because that would be an easy inside job too.
Yeah. Because hell, mail fraud is like huge, anyways.
Is it?
Yeah.
Is it really?
Yeah.
God. Dude, you can't trust anything, man.
No. There was major issues. Like, I mean, it's always happening, but I'm on like, because I mail shit that's worth some money occasionally.
Yeah.
So like other people, they'll be like, yo, like my package got stolen, and there's just not
they take out that insurance out or whatever and stuff. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I always deny that shit.
Yeah, I do too.
I never mail anything of value. Like,
yeah.
It's usually like something I have to respond to.
And a lot of times, if you were to take out like $10,000 of insurance on a package, whoever gets that has the potential to be like, oh shit, I'm taking it. Like,
yeah, they see that on there. They're like, whoa, wait a second. Like, what's in this?
Or they would like
box?
They would open it up, take shit out, put a rock in there, and just seal it back up. Like,
hey man, when I was leaving Korea, that was happening there.
Really?
Did you ever hear about that?
Nuh-uh.
Okay, so like obviously like whenever you change from like one, get stationed from one base to another or whatever, or post, whatever you want to call it, depending on your branch. The military contracts out to have your personal goods shipped.
Yep.
So like furniture, stuff like that, because you obviously can't carry shit on a plane, right?
Yeah.
Well, in South Korea, I believe it was in Kunsan Air Base, there was a shipping company. They got busted. It was a huge thing. And I actually met someone this happened to. So they would come pack up all your shit. And then they would have, like, literally, like, an itemized receipt of, like, this box.
Yeah, they're like, box
this.
41 has this, box 42.
And it's very detailed. So then, obviously, they take it, they pack it up, and they keep it in their warehouse. But what these dudes were doing is they were breaking into them, taking out the valuable shit, and replacing it with rocks to match the weight, and then shipping it or whatever. So, like, people were just going, like, getting to their next base, like, back in the States.
And normally it's a long time, like, before you get that stuff. Like, just, like, you'll get there, but you have to wait, like, sometimes up to a couple of months before you ever even get your shit back.
Yeah, I knew a dude, he had a bunch of computer equipment in one box or whatever, and they took all of it, and he literally opened it up. It was just rocks.
Oh, my God.
He's like, what the fuck, man? So like, he goes and reports it or whatever, you know, and they do their investigation. But yeah, it turned out that whole company was, like, involved in it or whatever. So I was like, damn, dude. That's ballsy. But it's also kind of stupid. It's like, how do you expect to get away with that?
I don't know.
You know? Because, like, they're going to know.
And nowadays, like, if any package has a barcode, like, the postal worker scans it upon receiving it, and then it gets scanned again once it gets dropped off at the facility, and then it gets scanned again once it's going. It gets scanned at every checkpoint. Like, and they can pretty easily track, like, what happened or what, like, where the issue is. You have to be
pretty clever, too.
You would. I mean, obviously there's ways around it because people do it all the fucking time. But, yeah, I mean, it does require a little bit of thinking. It's not just like a snatch the box and go. Yeah.
Man, oh, man. I don't know. I wonder what, like, Postal Service is going to get like in the future. Because now, with all this stuff happening, I just give a package to, like, the post office, and I just hope that it arrives to where it needs to go. It's like, all right, maybe.
There's been countless times I'm, like, checking, like, every day I'll get on there and check. I'm like, okay, has it moved? Is it still in transit? Where is it? Because, like, or even on fucking receiving shit, because then the other person normally, but there's been instances where, like, the person, it's themselves will fucking ship a rock in the box and then try to blame the post office on it. And then if that's the case, like, then you don't, like, normally, like, sometimes you can get your money back if you paid with, like, PayPal goods and services or some shit, but if you fucking, I don't know, man, every time you do that kind of shit, it's a gamble.
Gamble from hell, dude. Yeah, I don't know. I just don't have a lot of confidence in that, man. Did you ever see that? Kind of reminds me. Vice did a documentary. It's called How to Make $100,000 a day selling drugs. Did you ever see that shit?
I don't know.
Yeah, it was a dude in, like, I think he was in New York City. I think he might have been in the Bronx.
Was he doing dark web shit?
No. This is before the dark web actually really kind of became like a mainstream thing, or deep web, really. Dark web, deep web. But
Silk Road.
Yeah, and so, like, what he would do is he would literally have it mailed to him from, like, California. And they would have, like, these huge, like, shipping containers, and they would, like, basically big-ass boxes, and they would just pack it with, like, pounds and pounds and pounds of weed, cocaine, you name it, like, all these designer drugs and shit in there, too,
just
man.
A drug-filled care package.
And, I mean, they had, like, whole method. I mean, they showed them breaking it down and stuff. Like, I mean, they wipe everything down, like, they double, triple vacuum seal it, and, you know, they pay to get it express and all this other stuff. And he had a whole system where he could check, and he knew that by a certain time, if it didn't update, that package was seized. And so it was kind of funny because they showed him getting shit delivered and breaking it up, and he's, like, in this massive, like, nice apartment. Probably New York City probably cost him like $8,000 a month or some shit, you know? But there's, like, no furniture. There's, like, a couch and, like, a ping pong table. Like, that's it. Because, like, they were like, we don't stay here. Like, we break this shit down and we go, man.
Oh, shit.
And so, but, yeah. And he would just offload it, like, really fucking quick. But it's funny because at the end of, like, the little documentary, because the dude was, like, bragging about how he'd basically never gotten caught and, like, all this other shit. But at the end of it, it's just like, okay, this individual was arrested. And, like, you know, is now doing time. Like, you know. So, yeah, eventually it'll catch up to you, man, you know.
Yeah.
You might be able to get away with it, like, one time or whatever, but, like.
I mean, it's the fucking law of statistics, man. Like, you can do it so many times, but eventually, if you keep doing it, you're gonna get
something's gonna happen.
You're gonna get fucked, man.
Yeah, something's gonna happen. Holy shit. Yeah, it was ballsy, man, to watch that guy. I was like, damn, brother. Like, so I don't know. There's a bunch of fuckery in the Postal Service, man.
But I mean, you gotta think the postal service is essentially like the border. Like, it's a numbers game. They probably catch a fucking fraction of what's really going through all the time. So I mean,
especially
as long
when you ship shit during the holidays, like,
yeah,
that's got to be a fucking
dude. Because like they can't. There's no way they can keep up with that shit. They're just slinging it through as quick as possible to try to get it out to make room for the next stuff.
And drug dogs too aren't even completely reliable either.
No.
You know, like, that's kind of a coin toss too, you know? So,
like, Granny mailed me a fucking fruitcake. That's what the dog's going after.
Yeah.
Like, 16 pounds of beef jerky in there.
Oh, man. Oh, dude. All right, what's our next story we want to talk about, dude? Is it you want to jump into the Harvey Weinstein?
Yeah, let's talk about him.
God, yeah. Well, in case you didn't notice or didn't see it on the news, the famous director Harvey Weinstein, movie producer, was convicted of rape in 2020. Well, that charge just got overturned, or that verdict just got overturned.
The boys are back in town.
The boys are back in town. The age of man has just begun. I bet people in Hollywood are worried, son. Oh my god. Because, like, imagine, like, what kind of movies he's gonna make when he comes back. If he even gets back into making movies.
Yeah.
But the thing is, like, you can't deny, because him and his brother both made movies together. Dude, they made a lot of great movies. Okay, now, I think he's a monster. You know, obviously he's a horrible person. But they made some killer-ass movies. And I'm like, I like to think that, like, maybe everyone just got tired of just shitty movies getting made. So they're like, fuck, like, what are we going to do to stop
They were like, what went wrong? They're like, well, old Harvey's been out of commission for a while. Like, let's bust him out.
Let's get old Harvey out of there.
Hollywood needs some money, man.
Yeah.
New York City, and it concerns the disgraced Hollywood movie producer Harvey Weinstein. The Court of Appeal in New York has overturned Weinstein's 2020 conviction for sex crime charges. It was a 4-3 decision in that appeal, and now it will be up to the Manhattan District Attorney, that's Alvin Bragg, to decide whether or not they're going to seek a retrial of Harvey Weinstein. Now, he is currently in prison in upstate New York, and whether or not he is retried, he will not be a free man in the near term. He was also, as you may remember, sentenced to 16 years in prison in California after being convicted of raping a woman in a hotel in Beverly Hills. So he remains in prison now, but one of the central cases of the Me Too movement against Mr. Weinstein has now been overturned by the New York Court of Appeals in what's been described as a stunning reversal. Let's bring in our US correspondent, Mark Stone, for more on this. And Mark, I think you are there and you can hear me. So Mark, I was just laying out some of the detail there, and it would seem, I think, as if this decision has come about from the Court of Appeals because the trial judge had made what's described as a crucial mistake during that original trial.
I think that's Usher.
Yes, I mean, this is being described as a stunning reversal of that 2020 conviction.
Oh, he got another one.
Holy shit, dude. You know, what's crazy is, like, so they said it was voted on by a panel of judges, like, in the, it was 4-3 is what got him. What's interesting is, like, it was, if I remember right, the entire panel was women.
Oh, really?
Female judges, yeah.
Well, that leads us on. Do you wanna watch the next video real quick to?
Yeah, this is because we're just gonna fuck with this. We're gonna talk some shit. So let's watch the next video. Because like they said in this last one, this is kind of what started the whole Me Too movement, right? Mm-hmm. And basically all women in Hollywood pretty much came forward and were like, he did something.
Yeah, there was over 100 women.
Jesus.
Like,
jeepers, dude. Yeah. Like, holy shit. But yeah, let's watch this next compilation because it shows you how hypocritical Hollywood can really be, man.
Yes.
So. Harvey Weinstein, Bob Weinstein, God bless them.
Harvey Weinstein, who believed in us and made this movie.
Harvey and Bob Weinstein.
Harvey Weinstein. Thank you, Harvey Weinstein. Especially Harvey.
I want to thank Harvey and Bob Weinstein.
Thank Harvey Weinstein.
Harvey Weinstein. Harvey, who first took me on 20 years ago.
I would like to thank
Harvey Weinstein.
Harvey Weinstein, who had the guts, the courage, the commitment.
Especially Harvey Weinstein, a man of dedication and vision.
Harvey Weinstein. Well, listen, so...
Harvey and Bob Weinstein, you also break my heart with your uncensored passion.
Harvey Weinstein.
Harvey Weinstein.
Harvey Weinstein.
Harvey and Bob. And Harvey and Bob Weinstein.
To you, Harvey.
Harvey Weinstein.
Harvey Weinstein.
The Harvey Weinstein Company, okay?
Thank you, Harvey Weinstein, for putting your heart behind this film and shining the light on this. We really like to share this with you.
I want to thank the Mishpucha Weinstein.
Even Robin got it.
So you tell, all right, so out of all the, all right.
None of those people knew.
No, yeah, that's what I'm thinking. All right, let's start from the top. Do you think Harvey Weinstein's guilty?
Yeah.
Okay.
I
agree.
I think he's guilty.
Do I think that he's guilty to the degree at which he was accused?
Probably not.
That's hard for me to believe, man. Like, just on a numbers game, dude.
Yeah.
And, like, the amount of people that actually came forward and stuff. Like, I just don't know. But I read about, like, when it started, I read a little bit into the case. And part of his defense, man, he turned over, like, emails and texts from these women who were accusing him. And they would just be like, I love you. Like, I enjoy my time with you. Let's go out to eat. Like, I mean, it was like, if this dude just, you know, sexually assaulted you, like, are you going to be sending these types of messages?
Yeah.
You know? And if you are, like, I mean, I don't know. It's as simple as that they were just trying to get a role.
I was going to say, like, maybe, like, and then if that's the case, like, yes, it's fucked up, but if you're still reciprocating and you're still actively trying to go back into that situation, when are you going to be held accountable for some of that shit?
Yeah, you know? So, I don't know,
like,
man.
Obviously, it's fucked up, but if they're repeatedly putting themselves in those positions, then the blame kind of needs to be spread apart, I feel like.
Yeah, and this is going to be a fucked up school of thought right here, man. So let's say the first woman it happens to, right? Let's just say she gets absolutely flat out sexually assaulted, right?
Mm-hmm.
Gets this role or whatever, or gets coerced. You know, but some, I don't know, was this like the OG casting couch? Like, is this what he was doing? That's what it sounded like to me, to be honest with you. But, and so she gets her role or whatever. Say she continues to work with, like, his production company, him and his brother's production company, right? Well, let's say he went on and did it to another woman. Should that first woman be held to some degree responsible because she could have put it into that and stopped that second, like, act of violence from happening?
No.
Yeah.
Because normally whenever, like, if there's a serial rapist, like, the woman, like, the first woman doesn't, like, that ain't her fault.
I mean, it's not her fault she got raped, but I mean, it's just like, if it happens
are you saying that, like, if a celebrity A, first one, got sexually assaulted, then she sees celebrity B and she's like, yo, watch out for Harvey?
I was thinking more of just reporting it to the police and being like, hey, this fucking happened.
Oh, nah, they can't be held because you can't force people to report that kind of stuff.
I don't know. It's just more of like a philosophical thing. It's like, you know,
I mean, are they in the wrong morally?
Almost like you have, like,
an obligation to try to help your fellow man.
A social obligation to be like, hey, like, this is obviously like a predator. This is an act of violence. Like, this needs to be reported. This needs to stop.
Yeah, but then they get hit with the, like, if he's fucking Harvey Weinstein and she's some random starlet actress this is our first thing, they're going to be like, discredit her, and then her career is over from that. So fear of
reprisal.
Yeah.
Or like victim blaming and stuff like that. Yeah, it's like a real shit, man. It's a sticky fucking situation, man, for people who like to report that stuff, man. And then, I mean, especially if it makes it to court, man, your name's all in that shit. If you're over 18 years old, dude, everyone's gonna that's gonna be in public record, man.
Oh yeah.
You know? So, but I don't know, man. Like, they said over 100 victims came forward, and then, like, to what degree are we talking here? Are we talking about?
Like, that was the thing.
Did he sneak a kiss on the cheek, or did he grab an ass cheek or something like that?
Yeah, was it verbal? Like,
was it full on forceful, like, penetration kind of thing? You know what I mean? I'm sure there was probably a spectrum of it.
I'm sure. Like, I'm sure he was probably just like a regular perv.
Dude, I heard. I don't know how true it is. I heard his door had like an electric lock on it from his desk. Like, he had a button and it would lock. Like, dude, is that not terrifying? Like, you're sitting there.
You go to sit down and you hear that shit lock behind you.
Do you want to win an Oscar or not? click.
Well, dude, there's been I heard Joe Rogan talking about it, but like there's been multiple, like even Cat Williams brought it up, but he was like, there's multiple producers that had bedrooms in, like they had beds in their fucking offices.
Yeah, man.
And it was not just Harvey, it was like,
and they were doing it to like dudes too, man.
Yeah.
Shit, I was watching someone the other day. Hell, it might have been Cat Williams. I was watching somebody the other day, dude. I think it was a comedian, and they were talking about going in for movie roles.
Mm-hmm.
And he was literally invited to a hotel room.
Yeah.
Of a producer, and then when he got there, the guy was just like in his robe. And shit, no, who?
He was like, "Do you want this movie or not?"
Yeah, and the guy basically was like, "I want you to act out this scene," and made him do. It was Rob Schneider. It was Rob Schneider. Rob Schneider. You know, like, I mean, the story's fucked up.
Yeah.
Like the producer didn't fuck him from what I saw. Like, but he said the producer had him like come to his hotel room. Producer's like in his robe, and
he's like, pretend I'm a woman.
Yeah, and Rob's just like straight up like, well, this isn't weird. Like, it's just guys or whatever. Maybe just got out of the fucking shower. Who gives a shit?
Yeah.
And then he wanted Rob to like act out a role and had him like crawling around on his stomach, like some sexual humiliation shit. And then the guy was like, okay, you can have the role. Like, you can leave.
And they were like, by the way, this has nothing to do with the movie.
Yeah, dude. And so Schneider was kind of like talking. He was like, there's a lot of weird shit that happens, man. Like with just people in power in general and stuff, man. But I don't know. I will say this. I do think Harvey Weinstein is guilty. The degree of guilty, that's always going to be up for debate, man.
Yeah.
Because the thing is, with like social movements, it becomes like a popularity thing. And it's fucking horrible to say. But how many of those fucking people that were thanking him, right? And there's way more, too, man. Like Jennifer Lawrence was like a famous one or whatever. But, and then a lot of these women are like, oh, I want to be a part of this movement. I want to be a champion of the people. You know what I mean? I want to be relevant. I want to be in the spotlight. So it waters down like
the actual
transparency for the real victims.
Yeah, it discredits the people that it actually happened to.
Yeah.
And the ones that actually had something traumatizing happen to them versus just some idiot who's like, oh, that shit happened to me too. Like, fuck them people.
But on the other hand, man, you can't deny it. I'm going to say it like it is. My man made some fucking badass movies, dude. Dude, I watched one the other night he was a part of. I don't know. I like old school like science fiction movies and stuff. You ever seen that movie Mimic? It was made by Guillermo del Toro. Well, anyway, it's a cheesy sci-fi movie from the 90s. Neither here nor there, but I think it's good. It's a really interesting like subject, like idea or whatever. But he helped produce that shit. Like any movie in the 90s, you go back and look. If you look at, you remember how they used to put like credits in the beginning?
Yep.
If you look, it'll say like his name on almost every fucking movie in the 90s, dude. He made everything.
He had fucking his hands in all of it.
Hands in all of it.
People too.
But I don't know, dude. But I found it interesting too, like looking at the case. Do you know why that shit got overturned?
No.
Because when he was getting tried, they brought in witnesses that weren't even a part of the case. They were just literally bringing in like random women to just discredit him. Like
they did that shit with Trump.
but yeah, so like it was just like I don't know. So the judge was like basically like, hey, it was
because again it discredits the actual women or people that got harmed.
Yeah.
Whenever idiots are just like, oh yeah, and then that if they investigate them and they're like, well, you're a fucking liar, so then they discredit the other people that are probably telling the truth.
And so like these judges were just like, why are you bringing in like quote unquote witnesses that didn't even witness these crimes or were even around it at all?
Yeah.
And you're just having them come in and just give like an opinion. Like what the fuck is that?
Yeah.
And then they just flipped an entire jury or whatever. So they shot themselves in the foot with that shit, man. But I don't know. I don't know if it'll stick. I mean, because they were talking about a retrial. I mean, that's always possible.
Mm-hmm.
So, but
they're gonna let him make some movies and then lock him back up.
Yeah. I just like to think that like the movie's gotten so shitty, and they're just like, how the fuck do we solve this problem? And they're like, fuck it, get Harvey Weinstein back. And then he's walking. But you know what's so funny? Like him using like the walkers and the canes and all that shit stuff, dude. None of that started until he got charged.
now he's just like totally immobile. Like, he can barely fucking move around.
I like to think like his lawyer is like some Call Saul shit, like some Saul
dude.
Goodman.
100%. He like slapped the neck brace on him, gave him the walker, he, like put the fucking.
You got to be a broken man, dude. You know?
Put the goddamn old school like pump up Skechers on him to like scoot around,
like fucking 3-inch
dude.
or soles on it or whatever, you know. Yeah, dude. You know that's definitely what it's an optics thing
for sure, man. Because then it's just like the women. Whenever they like, when a woman is on trial, they'll like make her look pretty or like do it like make her look better than what she really is.
Yeah.
For like because then they're like,
I mean, just like what happened to Johnny Depp and Amber Heard.
Yeah, perfect example. Or like I saw an older woman on trial and they like had her straight granny mode. Like they let her hair was all gray, like just a frail old woman, and she was like accused of like murdering people and shit.
Horrible, like
dude, just like terrible shit, and she could like, well, it's not, I don't know. Like
I don't even know how to use the telephone.
Like, my finger couldn't pull the trigger. Like,
I mean, fuck it, dude. Like if I was in some serious shit, dude.
I mean, you gotta do what you gotta do.
You gotta do what you gotta do, man.
I mean those lawyers have a job. That's what they do.
The job is keep your ass out of fucking prison.
Exactly.
You know? So I don't know.
Speaking of some bullshit trials, though, we can move on to our next story.
Oh yeah, you want to just jump into that one?
Yeah, this is a good one too.
Yeah, because this is because you know, you and I, like Moses, you and I were like, we'll disagree on things, we'll have like varying opinions or whatever. But this is like one of the few things we both got on, and we were just like, "This is total bullshit."
Yeah,
this is complete. This dude shook down a city for money. That's all it was.
Yeah.
Fuck it. You want to play it?
Yeah, let's watch it, and then we'll talk on it because it's funny.
New details tonight about a tentative settlement between the city of Minneapolis and one of the witnesses to George Floyd's murder. Donald Williams II sued the city, claiming he suffered emotional distress and was threatened by former police officers Derek Chauvin and Tu Tao. Court documents obtained by NBC News show the city attorney's office plans to present the proposed settlement to the council on April 25th. If approved, Mayor Fry would have 7 days to approve or veto it.
So,
because we read a little bit about this.
Yeah.
Too,
so then this is 3 day on the his trial or whatever was the 25th. On the 26th, it was approved, and he is getting awarded $150,000.
Yeah, but what's interesting is when you read into who that guy is.
Yeah, he's an MMA fighter.
Yeah, dude. It's like his job is literally violence.
But he got scared because a cop threatened him.
Yeah. And then, like, I don't know, man. Like, you could just tell straight up, like, that, in my opinion, that's just a straight up cash grab.
100%.
Like, that's all they're doing, man.
Now, I'm not knocking the guy.
I mean, make your paper, boo-boo.
Yeah, like, whatever, man. If I get $150,000 for seeing some bullshit like that, like, I'll take the money, too.
He's, like, on the witness stand crying, not because of what happened, but because he's actually thinking about the shit he's going to do with the money when he gets it. He's like,
I'm so fucking happy.
I'm going to Maui. Like, you know,
I'm going to burn down some more shit.
I'm get Oprah. Like, I don't know. Just go back to shit on Oprah like we always do. But according to half the people in the comment section, we're gonna get sued any day now. So, but yeah, dude. I mean, I get it. You know, capitalize on it. You know, but it's for me, it's hard to believe that story.
Dude, it's bullshit, man.
It's total horseshit.
I guarantee you, if that man is at Thanksgiving dinner and anybody is like, dude, it really affected you that bad, he's gonna be like, hell no, I wanted that money.
Fucking
like
money.
Anyone else would. Be like, if that scenario affected you that fucking bad, dude, like, no.
I didn't realize you can
don't buy it.
Paid. You know, from obviously you can get paid from a city if you watch the cops do some crazy shit, dude.
I guess we need to just start following the cops around.
We need to start hanging out at some protests. That's all I'm fucking saying, dude. Get fucking paid today. Holy shit, man. But I don't know. I mean, that regardless, I mean, the protests after that were fucking insane.
Oh, yeah.
But do you feel like people are protesting a lot more these days for, like, any reason?
Yeah.
Like, what is that? You know what I mean?
It's because they got, like, it happened, obviously, well before the George Floyd incident, but that, like, was a catalyst to just, if anything fucking happens now, it's just an excuse to go protest and do some bullshit and tear shit up, burn stuff down.
And it's like a real, I don't know, I mean, I know, like, the right to protest peacefully, like, is our right to do.
For
right?
sure, and I respect that.
Yeah. But some of the shit people start protesting, I'm like, what are you doing, man? Or then you find out, like, these organizations are, like, corrupt and shit behind it and stuff.
Or paid or created by foreign governments. Like, come on.
Dude, it's wild, man. I mean, because it's clear as day. Dude, if you just look at what happened with Tony Hinchcliffe, like, with that scandal, dude, clearly that was set up by the CCP. You know?
Yeah.
And it so I think what happens is unrest occurs. However unrest happens, an incident, whatever it may be. Cop kills a guy, fucking insert whatever incident. And then a movement happens, right? Like, it starts to occur. And then I think shit like the Russians and the Chinese, they get in their bot farms and then they make it a huge issue.
Yeah, they push that shit.
And they try to do that shit to Tony Hinchcliffe and get his ass canceled during the Stop Asian Hate movement. And he blew the lid off that shit and proved it, like, straight up that dude was working for the CCP.
Yeah.
So, I don't know, man. It's interesting to see how they do that stuff, man. And then they try to get... I just think they just try to create more turmoil and, like, more issues in our country. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
We already have, like, some issues, but they're like, let's throw some gasoline on this fire.
I mean, we already have countless issues of our own, but they really do just stoke that flame and just push more ridiculous shit for us to pretend to care about.
Yeah, and like, so, like, our next subject, man, is, like, you know, the pro-Palestinian protests that are taking place on universities, hundreds of universities across the country. Yeah. Thousands of students are protesting this shit. Free Palestine, right?
Free Palestine, anti-Israel.
Dude,
you gotta throw that in there too, because it's not just free Palestine, it's also fuck Jews.
Yeah, like, it's like seriously anti-Semitic shit they're starting to do. Like, to me, it's alarming. I'm like, I mean, anytime a movement starts, I'm like, whatever. Like, flip a car, burn some shit down, cool. We'll be over this shit in a week. You know what I mean? Like,
dude.
This shit, I'm like, yo, what are you fucking talking about?
Man, every time, like, this, because, you know, like, everyone is always like, how could the Nazis do this? Like, but dude, like, it's fucking happening right now.
Yeah.
Like, you always think, like, how could they have done such a terrible thing?
I never would have put the Jews in a gas chamber. This
like, really, like, what the fuck is going on right now, man? Like, there's literally...
An entire generation of young adults is just like, fuck the Jews, right?
And it hasn't even been 100 years since the last thing. Yeah. Like, that's crazy.
There's Holocaust survivors still alive, man.
Yeah.
Fuck, I think Roman Polanski's still making movies. I don't know if you know about that guy, but like, he was a Holocaust survivor, and then his wife was killed by the Manson family and shit like that.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, he got in a bunch of legal trouble.
He's got a hell of a story.
Yeah, he got in trouble. I think he was like banging like an underage chick. and then he peaced off back to Poland for a while. But anyway, the guy still made great movies. That's all I'm saying.
Him and Weinstein, man.
You know, everybody's got a pass. Pass is a pass, right? So, but I don't know, man. Like, there's definitely foreign actors that stoke all this shit, man. And then
there are, but there's plenty. But it takes the American idiot to fucking follow through.
And dude, before we started this show, you know me, I was very optimistic about people. I was like,
you definitely.
Slowly but surely, that has come to a grinding halt. Like, I'm just like, people are fucking retarded. Because I mean, we research. I mean, our shorts are like goofy or whatever. But like, for our show and stuff, like, we cite legitimate news sources. Like, we read about it. Like, and dude, I mean, like, a couple weeks ago when I found out that like over half the country can't read above a 6th grade level, I was like, dude, no fucking wonder. So when you see the videos we're about to pull up, when you see these types of protests occurring on these campuses, remember, the average. Maybe Green Day got it right, dude. Like, with American Idiot. That's all I'm saying, dude. You know, like, they just believe anything, dude. They don't think for them fucking selves. And what's crazy, a show that I do like, that Trigonometry, right? Mm-hmm. 2 British guys or whatnot, they're really good. And they do
really
thorough research in their shit. They went to, like, Free Palestine, like, pro-Palestine rallies or whatever in, I think it was London, actually. Mm-hmm. And because there's a lot of those happening there too.
Yeah.
And they were just interviewing people on the streets, and they were nice, and no one could tell them shit. Like, they were just like, they didn't know shit about the conflict. They didn't know shit about the region. And like, they would ask these kids, right? And these are kids who are not Jewish, who are not Muslim. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
they're just citizens, like.
Yeah, just like, well, I don't say normal.
Yeah,
but
like just an average citizen, like
average British citizen, right?
They don't have a dog in the fight.
Yeah,
like
that's a good way to put it, man. And so like the guys were at the trigonometry guys, man, like they were asking them, they were like, okay, what does the term from the river to the sea mean? And they were like, oh, we just want to get free Palestine. And then they were like, well, okay, like, well, what about all this other land that is Israel? And essentially they backed them all into a corner to admit that they just want to see the eradication of Israel off the face of the earth.
But did they even know that that's what they were actually protesting?
Dude, the kids couldn't even name the sea. They couldn't name the river. They couldn't name any of this shit. They couldn't name any capitals of any of these fucking places. You know what I mean? Like, they
so
didn't
it's
know
like
shit, dude.
it's just pure ignorance. Like they literally just don't even know.
Well, there's a fundamental human drive to want to be a part of a group.
Yeah.
I mean, that's how we survived as a species, right? So I think because we don't have real power struggles anymore, like we don't have to go hunt for food.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Like we don't engage in like active combat for like a mating partner. You know what I mean? Like none of that shit.
So we just keep swiping on Tinder. Like.
yeah, until that fucking clicks. You know? Boom, baby. Hell yeah. No, but God, online dating, we shit on it so much. It's such fucking trash, dude. That's out there now, dude. Like now, it's to the point. Like if I meet a girl or something like that, I'm interested in, and she's like, "Oh yeah, I have a Tinder." Yeah, this probably isn't gonna work out.
Just immediately fizzles out.
Two things, man. If they're on online dating sites or if they use fucking OnlyFans, that's like a red line for me, dude. Can't do it.
I'll be like, how many subs you got? How much money are you cranking in? Like,
how the fuck we just deviated to the online dating and OnlyFans.
Back to Palestine.
Back to Palestine. So yeah, but I mean, it's literally uneducated people that have the inherent drive to want to be a part of a group, right?
Yeah. Well, to tie that in really fast, that's why mental health is so fucking crazy nowadays. It's because people don't have any real fucking problems, and whenever there's no real struggle, like you said, then we create shit in our own minds. We create problems for ourselves.
You'll create social conflicts. Like you'll see it with people. Like when they don't have like real motivation, like real hobbies, or like things that they want to do, like things that give them passion.
They get on YouTube and spew hate in the comments section.
They just get in a bunker and they start talking shit. You know?
Yep.
I don't know, man. Are you talking about the people who shit on us? I was talking about us sitting here doing this.
Both.
Yeah, it's a little bit of both. It's a give and take, you know? It's a give and take, guys.
We wouldn't be here without those guys.
Isn't it crazy? I still think it's crazy. Like, we'll get shorts that get like 10,000 views, and then like we'll do an hour-long episode and it'll be like 20 views. You know? Yeah.
Dude,
there's a lot of gold in there, man.
We're feeding the problem that we hate. Because, like, we're talking about people not knowing shit, and then we go and make random ass shit, and people believe that shit.
That is, well...
But it's entertaining to us, so...
The people who get it's a joke, it makes it funny, because it becomes this huge inside joke.
Yeah.
But the amount of people that believe the crazy shit we say, like, in our shorts and our reels...
But, I mean...
to me, it's alarming.
It is, but you can't...
Like, what the fuck?
You can't even blame them to an extent, because I mean, even the shit that they see on when they flip on the TV, like half of that shit's made up bullshit. So it's true. Like whenever you like, I don't know, man. People, we say it every time, but you need to do your own research and like actually find multiple sources saying the same thing, and then try to put together your own thoughts of what's really going on.
Or better, know somebody who's actually there or experienced it.
I mean, that's an ideal scenario, but rare.
But anyway, man, so let's watch this video about the pro-Palestinian student protest on, I think this one's actually just at Columbia University, I believe. That was one of the first.
This specific one, but it's going on.
But it's happening at hundreds of universities across the country right now.
College protests that have been unfolding for more than a week and now spreading to even more local campuses.
It's happening as many schools wrap up classes and look forward to commencement. And already at one school, they're now changing their ceremonies. We have team coverage of the demonstrations. CBS 2's Christine Sloan standing by at Princeton. At City College of New York, students have set up a new encampment, but we start with CBS 2's Ali Bauman at Columbia. She's there live as a deadline is approaching fast. Ali.
That's right, Dick and Christine. The university president here says that if her administration cannot reach an agreement with student protesters by tomorrow morning, then she will consider alternative options for clearing that encampment. Now, this is the final week of classes at Columbia in the semester. We spoke to students who say that the unrest has already hampered their schoolwork, and they're hoping order is restored at least by graduation. On one side of Columbia University's lawn, student protesters remain defiant in a tent encampment, while on the other side, preparations are slowly underway for graduation.
I don't even know if there's going to be a graduation. That's part of the problem.
School officials are in negotiations with pro-Palestinian demonstrators who insist they will stay until the university agrees to their demands of financial divestment from companies that do business with Israel.
This is the story of thousands of students who don't want their tuition dollars to aid in the collective punishment and mass murder of Palestinians.
The 9 consecutive days of campus demonstrations have forced some courses to go remote in the final week of classes. Now the administration will also allow students to take final exams virtually if they request it.
I left campus because I didn't feel safe, and it was also the holiday of Passover.
Andrew Stein and Jonathan Lederer just returned to school after they say they were assaulted during a protest on campus over the weekend.
But someone threw a rock at my head, so I was physically assaulted on campus, and NYPD couldn't come on campus. Public safety was nowhere to be seen.
After House Speaker Mike Johnson said Wednesday that he believes the National Guard should be called in if the encampment isn't cleared soon, Mayor Eric Adams strongly disagreed on CBS News New York.
We're controlling this in the police department. No one does it better. We do not need the National Guards.
Now, Governor Hochul, who has the power to call in the National Guard, said earlier this week that she does not think it is necessary to deploy them here. And we've just learned this afternoon that a group of students here at Columbia have filed a federal civil rights complaint against the university, demanding an investigation into allegations of discrimination against Palestinian students. Meantime, the U.S. Secretary of Education says his office is investigating complaints of anti-Semitism at campuses across the country. We're live in Morningside Heights. Allie Bauman, CBS 2 News.
Oh, where do you want to begin with this one, dude? It's like, holy shit.
So okay. the students are opening up a civil case against the school for
basically discrimination
against Palestinians.
Yeah, the kids supporting Palestine. Yeah, it's kind of what I gathered from that, man.
I mean, I'd be more concerned about those Jewish kids when they were getting the fucking rocks thrown
in the back of their head and shit, dude. Are you fucking kidding me? Dude, I would be packing a gun on campus if I was a Jewish kid.
How did they know that kid was a Jew? Like, if I'd have seen that guy, I had no. I would have just thought he was a
normal fucking
like an
person.
American person. Like, yeah. I don't
know. American? Wait, Jews can't be American?
Yeah, like what the fuck, man? Like I don't know.
No, you just think like there's no way to know.
That's just a person.
Yeah,
like,
you no way to know his religion. You know
exactly.
What I mean? Could have been fucking atheist for all I know. You know, but god damn, brother, like that shit is so fucking and that it is so annoying, and that is just lost and confused young adults.
And how are they? It pisses me off that they use the term negotiation. Like we don't negotiate with terrorists.
Remember when that was a fucking thing? You know what I mean? Like, come on. That was like George Bush's biggest thing.
That was, yeah.
It's like, no, we don't do this shit. But, dude, Mike Johnson talking about calling in the National Guard, like encouraging like the governor of New York to call in the National Guard. The first thing I thought of, man, was that shit at Kent University. What was it, the 60s, when they had a bunch of students protesting, and they called in the National Guard. The National Guard ended up like shooting and killing a bunch of fucking students.
I don't think there is a real need to bring in the National Guard. Because
the police can handle that.
Yeah,
you know
they're fucking a bunch of 20-something whiny ass kids. Like, just tear gas them and tell them to get the fuck out of there.
Yeah.
Like, there's no need to bring in all that shit.
I mean, at the end of the day, like, I support free speech, man, and like, if you really want to fucking. I don't like the fucking camping out, like the fucking shit up, and then obviously no violence and all that stuff. But, I mean, if you really want to yell about that shit, fine. That's your right, man.
But that they're hindering other students' education by doing what they're doing on
like
that
a nuisance to society.
Yeah,
man. Like, you know what I mean. And it's just like at what point
if they're having like even the idea of them shutting down the fucking school and doing remote, that's bullshit. You should never give in that much. That's
now
stupid.
Like these kids want to be on a sidewalk chanting shit, and they're not in anyone's way. They're not stopping traffic, whatever.
They're not throwing rocks at Jew kids. Like,
yell until your fucking lungs bleed, dude. I don't give a shit. Mm-hmm. But I have the fundamental right to also think you're a goddamn idiot for your opinion.
And all those, like, everybody, well, most of them motherfuckers paid to be at the school, so they have a right to education.
It's like what you and I were talking about before we started the episode, man. If I had a kid that was going to one of these universities and doing this shit, I'd be like, cool, man, enjoy it, whatever. But guess what? I'm shutting it down.
Yeah.
Like
if you want to go next semester, your stupid ass gonna have to get a job at McDonald's or something.
Figure out how to pay for it because I'm cutting you off. Like we're done here. You hear me? You're done.
Be like, like, your job is to go to school, not to fucking camp in a tent outside and protest for some foreign country who doesn't give a fuck about you.
Yeah, dude. And it's just like, what just gets me, man, is like it's so many people that don't have a dog in the fight.
Yeah.
And then, like, okay, do you want to go down like the road of like hypothetical, philosophical thinking with me as far as Israel, real quick?
Let's do it.
Okay, all right. So obviously, we all know what happened during World War II with the Holocaust, right? And so when we looked it up the other day, when did Israel become like its own country?
Oh,
was it official? It was
like
50s.
Yeah, it was like 60 or 70 years ago.
Okay. God, I can't remember the exact date.
I know, yeah.
But anyway, so essentially, like, if you look historically, the Jews have been like one of the most oppressed religious groups ever in human history.
Yeah. Well, dude, even the god, like, Egypt, the Hebrews, they were slaves.
Yeah, dude. And it's like, there's a thing called, like, dysphoria, right? Like, where they're literally just displaced people. Mm-hmm. And for thousands of years, they were able to still, without having a home, a country, any of that shit, they were still able to maintain their religion and their culture and their identity and stuff like that.
And now they run Hollywood.
You know what? Fair trade. You know? So anyway, man, like, so you go through all these like issues like in history, right, where they're just persecuted and stuff like that, right? Boom. Next thing you know, Hitler rises up, man. And he just starts fucking knocking
they were just getting to a stable level. Everything was going good.
And then fucking
Hitler.
Some asshole has to come out of Austria all pissed off or whatever.
The Jews.
That's true. I see I am. Like whatever, dude. But still don't understand. I tried to read Mein Kampf. I really did. Just like for educational purposes. Mm-hmm. Okay, that sounds bad. Because people reference it so much that like I actually tried to read it. And, like, dude, it was like one of the biggest pieces of shit I've ever read in my entire life. But anyway, it still never made sense to me why he hated Jews.
I don't get that.
There was some bullying shit that happened like when he was a kid, but like in my mind, like it never justified the degree to which
he should have just became a cop like normal people.
But, well, I think the whole thing is you have to create an enemy, right? If there's an existential threat, then you can unite people behind that.
Yeah.
And then it's easier to lead people. But anyway, so the Jews, like, you know, forever, like, they're like, basically they don't have a home, they don't have a state, right? And so also to put this in perspective, literally like 95% of the Middle East is controlled by Muslims, right?
Yeah.
Like official. Some of these people have like Islam in their government, right? With Sharia law and shit like that, right? The Jews get fucking Israel. That's it. That's it. That sounds like a fucking fair shake. Just let it go. Let it go.
We've talked about it, but they get this one little piece of land surrounded by everyone that hates them.
Yeah, dude. It's like that fucking that meme where it's like the snake and it's surrounded by a bunch of like roosters or whatever. And it just says wrong neighborhood, motherfucker.
Yeah.
You know, like they're about to fucking kill your ass. So anyway, so like World War II kicks off, Holocaust kicks off, and all this other stuff, right? And we snuffed that shit out. I almost, like, on a philosophical level, which I don't like the idea of just, like, throwing away our money, right? But almost on a philosophical and moral level, I feel like the United States almost has the obligation to back up the Jewish state of Israel from that.
Like, but the problem with that is...
I mean, I'm not saying it's a perfect thought.
Yeah.
I think. You get what I'm saying?
I do. But I'm saying, like, even... There's no end. There's only one true end to this.
Oh, we talked about it like a couple episodes ago.
Total annihilation. Like
a genocide is gonna happen somewhere, and it's just a matter of which side is it gonna be.
I mean,
man.
Dude, because whenever religion is involved, there's no compromises.
No,
whoever religions they will not commingle. The people that believe in their shit are like dead set on it, man. Yeah. They're not gonna break.
And the fucked up part, man, about all this Palestine shit, man, because like. Palestine obviously is like a Muslim nation, right? Mm-hmm. So the fucked up part, the really fucked up part, is all these other Muslim nations around them will not take in any Palestinians as refugees.
Yeah, that is true.
So,
which goes to show how
you need to fucking know.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like Saudi Arabia famously was like, nope, you're not coming here. Like, fuck you. And I was like, whoa, okay, all right, man. Like, maybe there's some other shit going on here. I don't fucking know, man. But those kids are just fucking retards, man. Like, and the protests are growing.
They need to like get back in the books and do what they're supposed to be doing over there, not fucking protesting on some bullshit.
Yeah, like if you really gave a shit, you would change your major. You would study these cultures or this part of the world or this history of the world, and you would write about it in a fucking intelligent, coherent form and fashion.
That's one way. You want my way?
Okay.
All right, my way is
send a nuke.
No, if you really want to support Palestine, hop on the plane and go over there and enlist in their fucking military.
Sure.
And fight.
No doubt. You mean Hamas?
Yeah.
It's literally what it is. Like.
If you're really about that life, then go over there and fucking do it and see how they accept you.
Yeah, it's not going to be a good end to that story, man.
Yeah.
And it just makes me wonder, man, like, do these kids even fully understand what they're doing?
I don't think they do. And I don't think they really I don't think they do. Like, I don't think they... I don't know. I don't think they're even capable of comprehending what is even the full, what's really going on with shit, because they have nothing to base. Like, they've had easy fucking lives. They have nothing to base this shit off of. They don't know what it really means.
And I can tell you right now, Israel will win this. They have so much support, from the Western world. Even though they're not a NATO country. They got us, the Brits, Australia. You name it. Like, every single Western country.
Because at the end of the day, they're in the right. So
that's my argument with the shit.
Yeah.
And then, they also don't scream shit like death to America.
Yeah, that's my whole thing.
You know what I mean?
I like people who don't want me dead. So
yeah,
that's...
I don't know. These kids are brave, man, because it's idiotically brave. Because with all the mass surveillance we do and shit in this country, them kids are ending up on a list somewhere.
Hopefully.
You know what I mean? I'm just saying, dude, all that mass surveillance shit and stuff, dude, you start running around screaming shit fucking supporting people who actively want the death and destruction of your own nation.
Yeah, but look at how, our current government is totally fucking brainless, too. So, we're waving Palestinian flags in our own government buildings.
True.
So the kids are probably feeling pretty emboldened at this point. Unless there's a change of hands.
Mark my words, man. And we've gotten really good at predicting shit on this show. We really have. There's been several times we predicted shit, and it's come true. It's oh, fuck, that happened? Okay. Mark my words, man. This shit comes full circle, and everyone that's standing on the side of Palestine is going to be in a losing hand. And that shit is not going to end well for those fucking dudes. It's going to affect them and follow them for fucking ever, dude.
I hope it does.
That's good. But on the flip side, man, as always, I'm all about being positive, dude. I think this shit's going to iron itself out,
you know what? We're on the right side, so...
all right, you want to wrap it up?
Yeah.
Let's do it. All right, guys, stay positive.